Welcome back, guys. We are live for another episode with the Look It In Our podcast. I am excited every time I am on this mic. It just feels like a lot to do right before I hop in because I've got like a lot of things going on and I really need to put my headspace into a place where I can actually acknowledge that, hey, I've got like so many other things going on, but now I need to step into this energy and this version of me that is catering to you guys and to me as well. And for me to be able to share my information and my thoughts in the most concise and like just easily understood manner, I really need to do some pregame, honestly. So I am still developing those pregame rituals. So once I have like a quick fix and like a definite fix on them, I will share it with you guys for sure. I hope everyone's been having an amazing week so far, as always. And honestly, my week's been going so good so far. One thing I did want to share is that I've been trying out like magnesium for the past couple days and call it placebo. But I think I've been having better sleep. I need to check my Whoop data on how many times like I woke up each night on Monday, Tuesday compared to last week. And but I personally feel like sometimes there's these disruptive moments during my sleep that I just like have so many wake events apparently. And ever since my Whoop started flagging them, I'm like, this is not normal. And I'm curious because I've been waking up feeling more restful after magnesium. I've been feeling so calm. The moment I take it, it's like a different buzz that I get into. And I'm not saying it is a buzz like an alcohol buzz, but it's more of like a everything's so good. Let's calm down. I don't even want to be on the phone. I just want to be like journaling. I want to take my time. I really want to go to sleep. No screens. Like really like that's such a self moment for me. Just taking magnesium. It's the best. Okay, so in this episode, I'm going to share my favorite brands and why I'm not afraid to build a brand of my own. And yes, I'm building a personal brand online, but also I really want to build like a physical product brand one day in the future and hopefully very soon. And I want to share why I'm not afraid of doing that because of all the amazing things I've learned from other brand founders. And the reason why I'm so gravitated towards this is, of course, I'm a creative person and I listen to the female founded brand owners and I have so much respect for them. I am in such awe of their work and I'm just inspired by them all around. And I'm like, how could that not be me one day, you know? And one thing I've realized is the person who you're trying to become, you need to listen to that future version of you already. So if there is a person out there in this world that exists and you're like, I want to be like something similar to their archetype, then listen to them. Like just learn from them, because if that's the path you want to go down to, maybe that's who you want to surround yourself with. So whether it's with books, podcasts, social media, who you follow, it's just these small subconscious signals we're sending to our brain like on a day-to-day basis without even realizing like who we surround ourselves with. So I did this unknowingly. I started surrounding myself with these female founded brand owners' voices around me. And it just came from a place of curiosity, you know. But I primarily started going to these, you know, female founded brand owners and entrepreneurs like podcasts for like listening to expert advice, not knowing that I will end up being so inspired and almost feel like a mentee by just listening to their advice and like their journeys and their stories. And their stories are so inspirational. Their outlook on life is so inspirational. And I want to get into a few of the examples that I've learned from just listening to these female entrepreneurs. And I want to share with you how unique finding a brand could be. And there's no perfect way of doing it. And the grit and the discipline and the consistency and all of it is always needed. I've picked up on certain mindsets and certain parts of their stories, which I think do need to be recognized. And in not only for the work that they've done in building these multi-million dollar brands, but also like the kind of fear or any kind of hesitation that I had about myself of am I capable of starting a brand has been taken away because of what they've built and because of how they operate. And like the female brain has this deep intuition, this deep connect to our own emotions, that we recognize the needs not only in our families, in our homes, in our relationship, but also in society. And that positions us in almost a very unique way to bring a product, a brand, a solution to the market where we recognize what the people need and deliver it in a very thoughtful manner. I listened to Mari Llewellyn from Bloom. I also listened to Siff, who started the brand Arrae, and also Sami and Sami from Form. And I didn't personally follow a lot of Lawrence and Mariana's like journey on starting Summer Fridays, but I do want to touch up on the brand itself in the end a little bit because I feel like Summer Fridays as a brand is so gravitating, and I want to share some of my thoughts there. I want to get clear into what these brands do and what they are. I want to get into all of it. And I want to start by saying that I did not have this inkling of I want to start a business until I would say like 3 years ago. I really want to give myself the ability to fly, the ability to fail, the ability to be creative as much as I can and try it as soon as I can. And building a business is seeming to be more and more attractive, not only because of these women who've done it, but also because by listening to their story, now I know how unique like starting a brand can be, and it's doable, and there's no secret sauce, but there's the factor of you continuing to be authentically you and serving who you set out to serve. I personally love the women behind the scenes running these multi-million dollar brands. And by the way, I would like to highlight here that Bloom has just hit $1 billion in valuation. Mari, her story is one of the most inspiring ones I personally have ever seen. And I want to start with Mari right now, the business entrepreneur who already has the successful business versus someone who's aspiring of it and is kind of held back because of this fear. The fear, as they say, is a mile wide but only an inch deep. So the fear can have this bridge or this gap between you now versus your future version. Don't let that fear hold you back. And I think that's what listening to these amazing female founders has done for me, where I am not afraid anymore. Like, yes, there are small fears here and there, but there's nothing that I'm telling myself to settle, honestly. If anything, I'm giving myself reasons to start it sooner. I'm like, no, no, you gotta do this now because you said you would. And the time is now, not later, not in 10 years, now. When I'm 23, that is the time. The only permission you need or I need to start a brand is my own and your own permission. What a blessing. What a fun time it is to get your own permission to do something, because I feel like we all grow up with wanting to need permissions from our parents the moment we are born, and then from our teachers, then from the society, and then it's just a continuous loop of permissions we live in. I'm like, at this point, it's your world. Like, it's your permission, you make the rules. So again, I want to start with Mari Llewellyn from Bloom. And oh my god, her journey is again the most inspiring one altogether for me, because her pursuit literally started from like a physical transformation journey. Bloom, as we all know it now today, is such a successful consumer facing wellness brand that serves your prebiotic soda needs, your energy drink needs, your daily green needs, among much more. They have creatine, they have protein, they have colostrum. Oh my god. and their brand is like huge, right? Like all over Walmart, Costco, and so many other retail in America. So her journey is, I would say, the most inspiring one for me because it started as a physical transformation for her. She was dealing with a lot of mental health issues, and that kind of transpired into her taking this action and chain of events where she wanted to really double down on her own health, not depend on like medications. And like when she gained all this weight, and this was when she was taking like a break from college to be back at her family's house, she was like, now it's my time to focus on myself. I'm gonna lock myself in. And she actually did. And by focusing on the meals she was going to eat in the day, following through her fitness plan, showing up to the gym, getting her steps in, she basically built a very disciplined life through fitness, which I think anybody who has taken a fitness journey in their life can attest to it. You've done such a hard thing. You followed through on your own promise, and now you can do pretty much anything that you want to do. And that's something like I feel like Mari kind of like really like bloomed from, like a physical transformation. And it started her by her just posting like a side by side comparison of what her weight and her physical look was before she went on this big transformation journey. And this is back in like 2016. So these comparison photos and like Instagram, it kind of blew up and she got all this attention. And the key thing she did is, of course, like kept that community going by posting more and more photos, by showing her workouts. And now people want to buy her workouts. So now she's selling PDFs. And after PDFs, she's selling booty bands for people to actually do the workout program that she's, offering them. And now they want to start a consumer facing product more and more. So they start formulating the greens. That's, their number one best selling product. And so my point here is that, again, after listening to her story time and time again, it just kind of shows that, like, starting, like, she didn't start with in 2016 wanting to be like, I want to build $1 billion brand. No, she just wanted to get better in her own life. And when she did get better and people noticed, now she capitalized on that transformation by actually helping other people out in the process. And just by being a relatable human in general, Mari being this people facing, this ambassador all this time, this strong woman, deep rooted in her own identity. And I think a lot of women are able to resonate with that, and they're able to buy into her brand because of that. You're making your community feel seen. You're coming up with products that actually work. Your product is the hero, and now you're driving masses to come to you by like combining all these secret formulas together. And another thing that really inspires me from this story is that none of them ever claimed to be like, the best students like in college. Even with Greg's personal story of, weightlifting his whole life, like the discipline and the rigor he built through that, he was able to transform that into brand building. And by showing up as the CEO of Bloom, he's bringing in the leadership skill, which I think like no school can prepare you for. And it's something that's innate within you, the leadership, and it's more natural. And I feel like when he and Mari both kind of focused on what their actual strengths are, and they literally bloomed after college, just shows that being put in the right environment and working very, very hard for what you are building can set you up for success. Like the fact that their brand is now $1 billion, it's like just blows my mind because their stories are just so raw and authentic. That Mari and Greg, I think, as entrepreneurs are living proof that the American dream is real. That entrepreneurs are just people just willing to do what it takes to get the work done and not have any excuses on the way. Their product was sending a very clear message to the people who are buying it out there that you can too bloom into your best self by indulging in this experience, which is their product. And I love that aspect of it. Like this clear branding that they had without confusing too much, it reaches the masses. People who are successful never want to stop learning because they know there's always more and more to learn, to improve on, to reiterate. And I love that both Greg and Mari were able to do that for Bloom, because when they saw the need for energy drinks and they brought amazing tasty flavors to the market and soon became one of the top selling brands in America, they didn't stop there. Now they look at the prebiotic soda market and they know consumers obviously love that. There's already education out there about drinking prebiotic soda because it's good for you. They see that and they develop again amazing prebiotic soda flavors, and they rip into the market and they're again becoming the top selling prebiotic soda brands. Now I want to talk about Siff from Arrae. I of course have listened to her podcast, the Dream Bigger podcast, on Spotify for a long time now. And I did go on to that podcast wanting to learn to experts, and I didn't realize, of course, uh, that I would end up learning so much from Sif herself, like the expert of the multi-million dollar brand now. And I want to share her story because I definitely like resonate with her so much because she's such a high performing individual. Like you can just tell by the way she's so organized. She, of course, like you don't start out to be like that way, and she like is the perfect example of like, if you have grit, if you have consistency, if you have discipline, if you set up the right systems in your life, and if you commit to the process, you can achieve whatever you put your mind to. Like that's it. And an interesting part of her story that I found is that I was listening to one of their podcasts where I think she had her husband Nish on. Sif was doing some blogging and being an influencer and like doing some social media before she started Arrae. And the interesting thing about this line of career for her was that Nish mentioned that, oh my God, I think you're like doing this, which is great, but I think you can actually put your mind and your talent to something much bigger and deeper. And I think when they did think of this idea of wanting to create, wellness solution for women, it kind of probably clicked for them that, oh my God, like now she can build this actual product, a business around it. So the way it started was that, of course, like, is that it's again like she had this, a myriad of health issues, her whole life. And, when you're opening up hundreds of bottles of these natural, supplements and this organic stuff, you cannot keep on taking them with you everywhere. So why isn't there one stop solution for all the wellness problems in a more natural way so it doesn't have any side effects? And when Sif recognized this from her own issues, it's like now she had to do it. And because I can see that in her trait when I every time I listen to her, because she wants to really commit to the process. She wants to make a change. She's so mission driven. She's so purpose driven. Like her purpose is very clear, and she wanted to build a solution around that. And her purpose in that time was clear. And they started in Toronto. And at that point, like Sif and Nish, they're both like doing everything by themselves. And it's it's again like their story of building a brand while they still have their own full-time jobs going on and not committing to this brand full-time until it hits a certain revenue in terms of sales. It's like such a commitment that I think anybody can relate to, where you're taking the risk but also living in this life that you have been living in, but still taking that risk. I think within their first year they hit $1 million in sales. So like that's the time they were like, we have to quit this. We can't keep on operating like this. But their story and like Sif's story is so unique again because it started from her own problems. She took a step by actually talking to, a naturopathic doctor to help her formulate these. And every time I listen to her, she's like such a wealth of information where she's like, she's reading all these books because she's committed to learning. So when an entrepreneur wants to grow their brand, they also want to grow themselves with it. And that's such a green flag in an entrepreneur. And like building a team that feels like family for them and getting in people who want to break those paper walls with you. A unique, one of a kind, product led business that serves women and it serves all the solutions to all the unsexy problem women have. They have calm pills which helps you sleep or de-stress. They have bloating pills. They now have their best-selling tone creatine gummies, and they also just came out with inositol. So all of these points to say that they're serving so many solutions to all these problems that a woman probably goes through. So not only are they creating a buzz around the talk of these topics that women go through, but they're actually delivering solutions that work in real time and they have scientific evidence backing them. And the fact that Siff had always been clear about, okay, the science needs to be there, like this needs to work, and taking years and months to formulate these products that work. And I love this thing that Siff said, where it's like, if you see a problem not being solved, then you need to go be the one to do it yourself. It's because this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. Guys, this is a marathon. All of these things that they have really well thought out for Arrae, from hiring to product design to product formulation to product delivery, into retail, into their online business, and all these campaigns that they're thinking of. Like, it's something that they're committed to growing, evolving. They're committed to being the brand that is relatable, that's aesthetic, that's chic, that's effortless. It feels like it's your best friend. If I have an Arrae bloat pill right now with me, the bottle, I'll be like, that's my best friend right there. Next, I want to talk about Sami, Clarke, and Sami Spalter from Form. Oh my god, I love Form. I want to share about why Form really stands out. So, of course, like Sami and Sami, amazing, incredible human beings. You have to listen to the Transform podcast, like, to know what I'm talking about. I mean, you listen to their voice, like, they're again so committed to growing and evolving. They're stepping into different chapters into their life, embracing it while being these business owners. And it's also motivating and inspiring, where they're building and working on this multi-million dollar business, but they're also building themselves in such a deep rooted way, where they're doing nervous system regulation, up leveling of habits, mindsets, but also truly connecting to who they are. And both of the founders have shown that, I think, over and over again. Actually, a year ago, I was in the market of buying new workout clothes, and when you start searching for it, your Instagram starts recommending so many different brands. Like, there's all these sponsored ads coming through, and I'm being served all these random brands that I don't even know who the founder is. It's just aesthetic girls, like, posing in the most aesthetic sets, but that's not, I would say, inviting enough for me to go buy them. Like, when I saw Form, I could see girls who are deep rooted into the community that they're wearing the clothes of. So not only was it chic and aesthetic and all these good things that an athleisure brand needs to be, but they have this community engagement being driven through their workout platform as well. So ever since that, I'm like also like so immersed into the brand founders themselves, Sami and Sami. And their story is again unique because Sami Spalter, of course, has such a, if you guys don't know, she has such a inspiring, motivating story of how she, lost all this weight in her life, went on this fitness journey and really supported herself. And just seeing that just makes me so happy again. Sami Clarke, she had this community built up online. She was a model in LA, so she always loved to move her body, and she's hosting all these free workout classes on Instagram Live during the pandemic. and it's driving more and more girls towards her page. And she knows she wants to, create a real platform. Like if Instagram was to go away the next day, now she wants to create a platform that actually is hers and keeps the people that she truly wants to serve on her platform, right? And Sami Spalter, like she has all this like operational and like business experience of actually building, and they both come together, opportunistically, and they kind of get to know each other as friends first because that's how they met, right? And they're getting to know each other, and now they're asking each other to be their business partners, which I think is so like beautiful, like a friendship blooming into a partnership, like a business partnership. And to this day of how they both honor each other and their own unique strengths. Because Sammy Clarke, I love her. Like first of all, I do the form workouts. I have the subscription to their form app, and I love Sammy Clarke's energy so much. Like she brings the energy. I love the Pilates workout, I love the strength workout, I love the abs workout. I love her so much. Also, like not only are they building a fitness platform, they're building more than that, right? They're creating the uniform that goes with it, the actual athleisure that makes you feel strong while you do those workouts. And it's such a strong reminder of how two women are coming together for a business partnership and playing on their own unique strengths to build something that drives more and more women in through the door. And it's building a community that loves each other because of the movement and also because of the messaging that they're putting through, that transform yourself, form into the best version of yourself. And who doesn't love the message? Like for example, recently they came out with their plus range activewear, and it's like they collaborated with the right person to be the face of this campaign and to help them develop this product itself, the uniform itself. And it's always the intention they keep on coming back with. Every drop has an intention behind it of serving their community, and I think they've prefaced this again and again: we want to serve you. And the fact that community loves them so much that a lot of them want to work for them. Like they're like, can we apply? Do you guys have an opening? Because of all this positivity that Sammy and Sammy have built through their platform. And I think we really need that in the world. And in the end, now I do want to touch on Summer Fridays. Like I just read an article that came out in Forbes on them, where it's like when they were coming out with their number one best-selling jet lag mask that now we all know is so good. Like they were told that that's not disruptive enough to start a skincare brand. And one point here again is that they came out with it anyways. Their branding, their messaging was so powerful for everything to feel like a summer. There's the skincare deserves to be so aesthetic. It doesn't deserve to be in boring packaging. It deserves to be something you can feel so playful and fun around. And their whole vibe that they have going on with, coming out with, again, effortless products, something that actually works. Like their formulations are so amazing. Like I unknowingly picked the lip balms before I even knew, like a couple of years ago, like before I even knew like they were like so good, without even buying into the brand hype. I bought the product just for the sole purpose of like, oh my god, this actually makes me feel so good. They really redefine that skincare is, it's tasty. Like you want to have it around you. You don't want to have it like in a big pouch and like not have it been seen. People are taking, travel pics with it. People are traveling through the airports, and it's like such a chic thing to do. If they were being told like a decade ago that the jet lag mask is not enough, if any of them had given up, we wouldn't have Summer Fridays today. So the point is, you can find your niche by just focusing on the message and the purpose that's driving you to come out with this brand that you want to. So focus on the message, focus on the niche, and focus on what makes you unique versus what doesn't make you. Like there's so much skincare out there. Like there's easily like Summer Fridays could have been one of those where it's like, we don't need more of this, and the brand founders could have been like, okay, like maybe it's not worth doing then. And I think it is worth doing because you need to try it out at least, because you just never know what can come out of it. The top 10 bestseller SKUs in Sephora, 7 of them are Summer Fridays, and it's just so like such a surreal moment. I think it must be for the founders, and I love that they're women because like, oh man, like don't tell a woman a no because she's gonna make it a yes 100 times over. And so, from all the brand founders that I've shared about today, Mari from Bloom, Siff from Arrae, Sami and Sami from Form, Mariana and Lauren from Summer Fridays, I think the tenacity is so needed. And your purpose, like, what's your purpose here? What's driving you, and being so in alignment with this is exactly what I want to do. Trust your vision, follow through with it, and try it, and you can figure out the perfect graphic, the perfect product design, whatever it is later. Try it out, put it out there, let it live out into the world, and keep on making it better. It will become a multi-million-dollar brand if it needs to, but you need to be committed to the process. You need to be disciplined and need to be open to learning, because founders who learn and are committed to their own self growth, we can see that being reflected in the brand itself, where it's so refreshing to look at the brand where it's not dense, and you don't need to have the strategy on day one on how to make this a multi-million-dollar brand. That comes later. So clarity only comes once you take action. So taking that action is so important, and that's what I learned from all these female entrepreneurs, and I love them because they took action and they keep taking action on their daily life, not only in their personal lives. For them, they live in so much of the alignment and live and breathe their own business because it feels more of a purpose rather than a business. Yes, there are parts to it that are business, but still, like, I am just so inspired, and I think that's what's like takes the fear away from me personally, where it's about development and growth and iteration and trying and failing and learning and being successful after all these cycles of learning. Like, I think the permission part is so real for me, where women need to feel like sometimes deserving before they need to start something. And I think like that's where the inner work needs to happen. Like, let's start now rather than later, in a small way, in a proof of concept way, so you know how to trust in your own gut and your intuition rather than doubting, and rather than procrastinating and giving yourself reason and talking yourself out of it so much. Again, this is to all the incredible female entrepreneurs out there. You're killing it, and I'm learning from you, and I think you're just inspiring, and just I'm in awe. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in for this episode of the Look It Up podcast. Hopefully, this helps because I know it has helped me tremendously just looking up to these incredible female entrepreneurs. And as I said, that was not even my intention when I first started kind of like listening to their stories, the brand founding. But over time, the same patterns are showing up in all of their stories. And please, let's give ourselves the permission to be audacious and to go out there and try something. Let's do it. We got this. Anyways, bye. I'll see you next week. Have a good one, guys. Bye.